joining us today and showing a commitment to kindness at your school. So thank you for that. And we're thrilled with McGraw-Hill's commitment to educational excellence. You are certainly an inspiration and a motivation to us in the nonprofit world and as a parent. And we applaud your support of educating the whole child. We're so happy to partner with you, and we thank you for recognizing that kindness does matter. So thank you, McGraw-Hill. We want to let you know who we are, who you're going to be hearing from today. As Doug kindly said, my name is Jill McManigal. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Kids for Peace. I'm on the right-hand side in the photo. And then to my on the left-hand side is Asha Moore. She's our program director. And I just want to highlight one of the items that Doug said in my bio is that I am a former school teacher and an avid volunteer. And I used to be the Red Ribbon Week chairperson. I was the staff appreciation chairperson and room mom, as well as character education rally coordinator at my schools. And I've taken all of that experience to really helped to guide and inform what we've created here at Great Kindness Challenge. So this is coming from the experience of a former educator, a concerned parent, and as a lover of peace and kindness in our world. We are a global nonprofit at Kids for Peace, and I'm thrilled to say that we were just elected as the executive members of the World Kindness Movement. So all over the world are recognizing that the Great Kindness Challenge is a very powerful tool to implement in schools and in their cities to increase kindness. Today, we have our goal is to introduce you to the Great Kindness Challenge and to demonstrate how this initiative can positively transform your school culture in 1 week. We're going to be giving you an overview of the Great Kindness Challenge. We'll give you some of the Great Kindness Challenge history. Then we'll give you some of the science behind kindness and the science behind the Great Kindness Challenge so that you can see that what we're doing is based on fact and not just on the goodness of our hearts. And we're going to then show you how you can implement the Great Kindness Challenge at your school. We'll give you some examples of the Great Kindness Challenge in action. I know that I'm a very visual learner, so I like to see as many pictures and really see how this has been implemented elsewhere. We'll then share with you the impact that we have witnessed, and then we'll open this up to questions from you and let you find out what you need to find out. So we'd like to get going with a poll here. We want to understand who it is that we're speaking to. So we're going to give this over to Doug to start this poll for us.
So the poll's up on screen now. So looks like everybody's starting to vote. Got about, wow, you guys are fast. I like it. Got about 80% in now. Wait just a few more seconds here for people to put their vote in.
My prediction is that 50% of you will be counselors. How about you, Ashley? What's your prediction? Yes. Then teachers.
All right, some close.
Then teachers and administrators. Yes.
So here are the results. Actually, a lot of counselors. 87% of you are counselors. So happy to have you folks. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, and that's consistent what we have found with the registrations, that counselors are really leading the charge in creating a culture of kindness. So we're thrilled to have you on the call, and thank you. So our next question is, are you familiar with the Great Kindness Challenge? We want to understand if you have any background with this already or not.
Poll is up and lots of votes already. We're over 80% again. Give people just a few more seconds to respond.
My prediction is 30% have heard of it and 70% have not. What's your prediction?
Good guess, Jill.
Okay, let's see.
All right.
Oh. So this is great to know. So most of you, this is new to you. Well, that's even more exciting for us, knowing that we get to share this with so many of you who are eager to find out. So let's dive in and let you find out all about the Great Kindness Challenge. So we want to give you, starting with an overview so you can really get a sense of what the Great Kindness Challenge is, and then we'll dive into some more specifics of the Great Kindness Challenge. The Great Kindness Challenge is a proactive and positively powerful bully prevention initiative. It is 1 week devoted to performing as many acts of kindness as possible on your campus using the provided checklist. So on your screen there on the left is a paper checklist that the students receive. We also have our checklist available in an app. This is for all of our teenagers. So it's great for our middle school and our high school students. And the beauty of the Great Kindness Challenge is it can complement any program that you currently have. So if you're doing any sort of character education, any sort of bully prevention, any sort of positive school climate, this is something that can be added on and just complements what you're already doing. And it was purposely created to be super simple and highly effective. The Great Kindness Challenge takes place on campus, and it is for grades pre-K through 12. So we do have adaptations for all levels. And we do the Great Kindness Challenge the last week in January. We strategically chose that time so when schools come back from winter break, they can begin the new year doing the Great Kindness Challenge and focusing on kindness and showing that that is a value to carry you on through the rest of the school year. We created the Great Kindness Challenge because we simply believe that all students deserve to learn in a safe, supportive, and dynamic environment. So a little bit of the history of the Great Kindness Challenge. It's a really beautiful story of how this got started because it really got started with me as a mother, with my kids in school and my children's school wanting to do something that would really enhance what they've already had going on. They didn't have much of an issue with bullying. They'd had a few instances, but they wanted to be super proactive. And they always felt that there is room to make things even better. So they asked if there was something we could do, knowing that I was part of Kids for Peace, to complement their school culture and enhance their school culture. So we came up with doing the Great Kindness Challenge in 2011, and then in 2012 we piloted it with 3 schools in Carlsbad, California. So it was my children's school and then 2 of our friends' schools. It was hugely successful. Word spread very organically, as good news often can. And by 2013, we had schools throughout San Diego County and then starting out in other states wanting to participate. So in our second year, we had 263 schools and those schools performed 5 million acts of kindness. So buoyed by this and totally fired up, we thought, let's see if we can provide this opportunity for kids in all 50 states. We saw what a beautiful impact it had on the current schools, so we thought, let us make this our goal to be in all 50 states, and by 2014, we reached that goal. So this last Great Kindness Challenge, we had 1,099 schools. We had over 500,000 students, and collectively they inspired 27,724,300 acts of kindness. So it's so beautiful because this is a movement that all students can be part of. So they're impacting their school environment, but they're also part of this collective goodness that's spreading across our country and beyond. And so this year, for our 2015 goal, we want to engage 2 million students and have them perform over 100 million acts of kindness. And we're super thrilled to report that we're already halfway there in engaging students. We currently have over 1 million students registered for the 2015 Great Kindness Challenge. And we like to emphasize those numbers, well, first because they're really cool numbers and they're big, and it's just so great to know that such positivity is spreading, but we also really want our students to know that they're part of something bigger, and that part of something bigger adds more of an emphasis to the power of kindness.
That's exactly right, Jill. And next, we would like to show you a little bit about the kindness and the science behind kindness. We here at Kids for Peace and the Great Kindness Challenge strongly believe in the power of kindness, and we are not alone. There have been many studies and research papers out there which discuss the relevance and the benefits of kindness. And we wanted to share with you a few examples that resonate with us and why we believe that the Great Kindness Challenge is such a powerful initiative. So our first keyword is happiness. There is plenty of evidence out there that kindness is linked to happiness. For example, according to Look 2011, experiencing and performing acts of kindness provide an increased sense of self-worth, greater happiness and optimism, as well as a decrease in feelings of helplessness and depression is achieved. We also know that kindness is contagious. In 2010, James Fowler of University of California, San Diego teamed up with Dr. Nicholas Christakis of Harvard Medical School to test their theory about the potential spread of cooperation and generosity. The study identifies a general model for how behaviors spread, and they emphasize that simple behavioral mimicry, monkey see, monkey do, human style. So when people are irrationally generous, others follow suit. We also read that kindness increases well-being, popularity, and peer acceptance. Researchers from the University of British Columbia and the University of California, Riverside conducted a kindness counts study. The study shows that kindness counts at school and it helps with popularity. The students who performed acts of kindness reported greater well-being and garnered significantly more new friends than those who did not perform acts of kindness and simply pursued their self-serving interests. We also know that happier children have greater academic success. According to Price-Mitchell 2013, students who performed acts of kindness with their peers, families, and in the community had greater academic success than those who simply recorded seeing acts of kindness. And last but not least, we know that kindness equals successful life. According to David Brooks, a New York Times columnist, people who are kind and compassionate are usually the most successful. He highlights that not only do good deeds make us feel better, they provide a more successful lifestyle. And if you're interested in these and additional studies, we recommend checking out the kindness research section on the website of our partner, the Random Acts of Kindness.
Yeah, this is great, Asha. For many of you, it may seem intuitive that kindness makes a positive difference. It certainly did for me, but it's great to see that there's science that supports this. And there's also science that supports the premise behind our Great Kindness Challenge. Our checklist of repeated kind acts is designed to make kindness a habit. In our research, we found that habits are formed in 3 steps. There is a cue, a routine, and then the reward. So for the Great Kindness Challenge, the cue is the Great Kindness Challenge checklist. The students have this checklist in hand. They see the kind act and like, okay, let me go help our custodian clean up, or let me go sit next to the child who is sitting all by themselves. So they use the Great Kindness Challenge checklist as the cue. And then the routine is repeating the 50 kind acts. So as the students are doing the kind act after kind act after kind act, they make that a routine. And then the reward is actually very intrinsic, and the reward is the joy and happiness that they receive from the giving and the receiving of the kindness. We have found that the children actually and the students get more benefit and more expressed happiness and joy from the giving of the kindness than even the receiving, but both of them are very important as a reward for them. And then there's some science with our brain, the kindness in our brain. And we know, many of us know as educators, that every thought and action we do fires neurons in our brains. And the more these neural pathways are fired, the easier it becomes to activate them. So the more we repeat acts of kindness, the easier it is to do them in the future. So kindness creates more kindness. We can actually rewire our brain to be kind. For those students who aren't prone to kindness, doing the checklist is retraining their brain, and it's giving them the support to do that. That's the beauty and the strength of the Great Kindness Challenge. As students interact with the kindness checklist and repeat kind act after kind act after kind act, kindness does become a habit, And as kindness becomes a habit, the school culture is uplifted and students are motivated to treat themselves and others with more compassion and respect. It's good stuff. So you're probably very eager to know how you can bring this to your school. We have 3 easy steps, and the part of easy I cannot emphasize enough. As a full-time mom first, as avid volunteer, and the director of a global nonprofit, I know how important it is to keep things very simple. So 3 simple steps to get this going at your school. One is to register, and then when you register, you receive a free checklist and toolkit. Second is to print the checklist for all the students and plan any complementary activities that you might like to have. And then third is simply to do it, to get busy on January 26th. So to register, we have a beautiful website that was created by one of our volunteers, and you can simply register by clicking that link. And you click the link and add some information about yourself and your school. And then we do ask for you to verify your registration. We do that simply because their schools have such strict firewalls and privacy protections that we want to be sure that you get all the information that we want to send you. So the correspondence comes between our small but mighty kindness team. But that's the first step, is to register. Once you register, you do receive the checklist to make copies of, and you receive a online toolkit that is packed with great ideas. I've really taken my experience with Red Ribbon Week, Staff Appreciation, and Classroom Teacher, and Character Education Rally Coordinator to make it a simple but powerful and meaningful toolkit. So there's lots of ways inside to engage your students in the planning, to engage the staff, and to engage the greater community. And many schools these days have it as one of their big goals to not only enhance the immediate culture, but to reach out to the community and be part of the greater good. So our toolkit has so many ideas. Let me specifically point out 2 of them. One is the Teacher Kindness Kit that we see in the bottom left-hand corner. And that was given to us by one of our volunteers last year from Magnolia Elementary at Carlsbad, California. And they wanted to make it as simple for their teachers as possible to implement. So they made these simple bags. They had the kids help them put them together. They put the copies of the checklist in there. They put the schedule for the week in there. They had a Kindness Matters bracelets, so they had for all the students in there. They had little kind bar snacks just as the added bonus for the teachers. And then the students distribute them the week ahead of the Great Kindness Challenge. So those are the kind of ideas that we have just to make it easy to implement. And on the bottom right-hand corner is a picture of a police officer cheering on a student there. And that was from a kindness tunnel, a kindness community tunnel. And that was from one of our schools last year, who started out the week on Monday morning by having, they had elected officials and firefighters and police officers and business owners come out and show that they value kindness also. So it was a really beautiful way to bring everybody together and say kindness matters. So the step 3 is to simply get busy and do it. This is from our school at Bernie Elementary in San Diego, and they every year create one big school-wide photo, which we delight over every year. This is, if you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a kindness certified seal, and every school who participates in the Great Kindness Challenge receives a kindness certified seal from us, and that's something that you can post on your website and in all of your outreach materials and proudly say that you value kindness and you take action to make kindness a reality at your school. And this is also a really great reminder about media on here. This picture reminds me of this picture showed up in one of our local papers, and the media loves the Great Kindness Challenge. It's a beautiful story. And if you're looking for ways to brand your school and tell the good story of what you commit to, we have found great success in getting the media to come out and cover both television and print media. So in our toolkit, we have lots of ways that you can engage the media and show them what an awesome school you have. So we'd like to give you a couple of samples now of the Great Kindness Challenge in action. I'm going to show you a sample week from 2 different schools, and want to reiterate that all of these ideas are listed in our toolkit. And I also wanted to punctuate the point that you don't need to do any of this to participate in the Great Kindness Challenge. The Great Kindness Challenge can be as simple as taking the checklist, making copies of it, distributing it to all your students on Monday, encouraging participation in the week, and then collecting them at the end of the week. There are even schools that choose to keep it going all month long. We leave that up to you of how you want to do it. We give lots of ideas, but we trust that every school knows what's best for their own student body. So this sample we have on Monday, the school did a kickoff assembly. So that's the picture on the top. They had their student council help write the assembly and put it on. They did a cheer with those Kindness Matters letters, which was really fun. And then they, on Monday, also distributed the checklist after explaining what the Great Kindness Challenge was. On Tuesday, the school did a door decorating contest, and they had each of the classrooms really get in the spirit of kindness, and they decorated the doors, which is just a nice way to enter into the classroom having that reminder. And this particular school chose to have their elected officials and their firefighters be the judges for the door decorating contest. So it's a really beautiful way to invite and include the entire community. Wednesday, the school did kindness stations. And kindness stations, this was an elementary school, so they did their stations at their recess time. They got volunteers from the community to help man the stations, and it was simply a place for the students to come and work on their 50 kind deeds. We've heard of other kindness stations that are run by the student council, so the kids themselves are the ones who are helping other kids do the Great Kindness Challenge. We've also heard stories of high schools and middle schools doing the kindness stations with their student body helping to, their ASB, helping to implement that. And it's just a really fun way to put it into action on a little bit more organized fashion. Then this school on Thursday did an essay contest. They were definitely all in making kindness a huge focus this week. So in our toolkit, there are some books that we recommend, and there's also the lesson plans for including kindness into your curriculum. So they did a kindness essay contest, and then Friday they did a celebration. They counted up how many kind acts that they did for the week, and then they celebrated with an ice cream party. They got a local ice cream parlor to donate ice cream for all the participants, and they had a big happy ice cream party. So that's one sample of how the Great Kindness Challenge can work. Another school took a little different approach. They also made sure on Monday that they distributed the kindness checklist to all the students. Again, that's the heart and soul of the Great Kindness Challenge, making the kindness a habit through the checklist. But they complemented the week by starting with a community kindness tunnel, like the picture we showed you earlier. Then on Tuesday, actually Tuesday through Friday, they chose to do Spirit Days. So they had Tuesday, they had Spirit Day was Peace, Love, and Kindness, where they dressed up as hippies and spread that love. Wednesday, they did Spirit Day was Crazy for Kindness, where they had crazy hair and crazy socks. Thursday, Spirit Day was Dreaming of Kindness, where they wore pajamas. And then Friday was their Spirit Day was Our School is Kind, and they wore their school colors and just emphasized that their school was kind. On Wednesday, the school did a school-wide kindness chain. Each of the classrooms had their students write down their favorite kind acts that they performed for others. And so then they took those kind acts and linked it together, and they came out into their quad outside, and they connected the whole school, and then they ran that chain through their school. This was an outside school, California. And so they were able to do it outside, and they just kept that chain up as a reminder that they're all connected in kindness. Then Thursday, this school did a school-to-school kindness activity. I loved hearing about this one. This also came from one of our volunteers at another California school, and they decided that they wanted to spread the goodwill to their neighboring schools. So they created some big posters that the kids made with just happy, inspirational messages for their neighboring schools, and then they had the children or the students at their schools all write little messages, and then they snuck over early in the morning and they put these up on the school's front doors and fences to greet them. So it was just a beautiful way that the kindness, it really can't help but contain itself. It wants to move itself out into the greater community. And then this school on Friday did a spirit day, did a celebration. This celebration, they did a big flash mob dance. So it's just an all fun. They came together dancing. I do want to point out two other schools, what they've done for their celebration. We had my children's school, their principal said that if they had 100% participation in the Great Kindness Challenge, he would do a flash mob dance for them. So they did not the flash mob, they did the Gangnam Style dance. And so he got up, they did the 100% participation, he got up and danced Gangnam Style with all of them, and the kids went wild. The newspaper came out actually and covered that also, and did a video on their online paper. And another school, we had to laugh when we heard that the principal had given as an incentive that if everyone participated, she would kiss a goat. So I'm not sure if that would inspire my kids, but at this school that seemed to work, and the student body all participated. And there's pictures of the principal kissing a goat, and that made the local news also. So there's lots of creative ways that you can really come together in this joyful spirit of kindness. So everything together has a great impact, whether, again, if it's just as simple as distributing the checklists or going all out and kissing a goat. Whatever it is, it leads to a great impact at the school. From both our post-event surveys and from anecdotal evidence, we have found that the Great Kindness Challenge elevates the school climate and it unites the community. According to Gary Grodke, who is the 2013 California Elementary Principal of the Year, every school in America should participate in the Great Kindness Challenge. It not only helps to elevate the school climate, it's a highly effective tool in engaging all students, staff, and community members. So easy, so powerful. I think I read that wrong. I got blocked. So simple, so powerful. I know that we're quoting California a lot. That's because we're based here, but we encourage every single state. This is appropriate for whatever state you're in. Actually, we have now children, students, schools all over the world who are participating in the Great Kindness Challenge. So forgive all of our California examples. So the next impact is that the Great Kindness Challenge decreases bullying and increases compassion. You'll probably notice that I haven't talked a lot about bullying. We have found that there's evidence that talking against bullying isn't so effective, that it's working for the positive is what works. So we find that the Great Kindness Challenge increases compassion on your campus. According to Chad Lund, who was the elementary principal of our pilot school, said that the Great Kindness Challenge provided an opportunity for our students to care for each other in ways that went above and beyond their normal interactions. As a result, we noticed a real impact on the school's culture with a decrease in bullying and an increase in compassion, unity, and respect. We also have found from our evidence that the Great Kindness Challenge minimizes behavioral referrals. We had from our Rita Powell, the elementary principal, said that not only were there more smiles on campus, there were also 0 behavioral referrals to my office during the Great Kindness Challenge week. I believe in all my years as an administrator that has never before happened. True success. So I personally witnessed the Great Kindness Challenge at several schools, and it really is something magical that happens as everybody is focusing on kindness and on the positive. It's felt not only with the students but with the staff as well. And it's just, you get all tingly thinking about it. And that leads us to our last impact, and my favorite quote here. From Michaela, who's a 4th grade student, and the Great Kindness Challenge is all about the students. And Michaela says that after this week ends, I want to keep being kind. And that sums up the importance of the Great Kindness Challenge so beautifully, because it's all about making kindness a habit. So with that said, we want to invite you to bring this to your school and to help make kindness a habit at your school. And we are just so humbled at the opportunity to invite you to be part of the Great Kindness Challenge. And now we'd like to invite you to give us any questions that you might have.
Thank you so much. We've got a few questions coming in. A lot of, just logistically for a second, a lot of people are asking for a copy of the presentation. And yes, we're going to be sending everyone a follow-up email with a link to the recording. So you will get a copy of this and be able to review this after the fact. Melissa's asking, do you have a lot of information about high schools implementing this challenge? I think it's a great idea, but wonder how it will fly in a high school setting. So she's probably talking a little bit about maybe some resistance from the older student body.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the Great Kindness Challenge was actually helped to be created by our high school students. And we're fortunate to have a robust internship program at Kids for Peace that we work with our local high schools. So they were very active in putting together our toolkit and the checklist itself. We have a section that specifically states how to adapt the Great Kindness Challenge at the high school level. It depends on who's implementing it, but we've found the most success when the student body takes it on, and that we find that if the best place to distribute all of the checklists is through the English classes. Since all students have to have English, that they distribute it then, and we have a lot of fun ways to make it very age appropriate. Our app is also very successful with the high school students, and there's other ideas of ways to make it, bringing technology into it for them. So a lot of that is outlined in our toolkit. But I have a high school student myself. She's now a junior in high school, and she loves it. And she's found that it's not only affecting the culture at school, but online she says that she notices a difference of those who are participating in the Great Kindness Challenge. So check out the toolkit for that section, but it's absolutely appropriate for the high school and the middle school levels.
Awesome. That answers the next a couple questions too we had about middle school. Someone just said,
my son, by the way, is in middle school now, so it's just so fun to be able to use my kids as the guinea pigs for all of this. But they've started out. They were both in elementary school when actually my daughter was in middle school when the Great Kindness Challenge started. My son was in elementary school. But we've really worked hard to keep it relevant for all ages. We recognize that everyone needs kindness, so that's a very important to us in keeping it age appropriate and exciting. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah. Laura says this is awesome. I've already registered my school for this, so great feedback there. Kathleen's asking, is there anything that needs done after the week is over as far as reporting and how many acts of kindness are completed or anything else? Just thinking data collection, she says. So yeah, maybe a little more about what to do after the week is over.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we provide in our toolkit a tally sheet that you can use in your classrooms if you choose. So that's, some schools are big on the data, some are, that doesn't matter as much. We personally do not request the information to come back at us, so that is just for your own goodness. We do have something called, we're working on the Guinness Book of World Records, and it's to get the most kind-hearted handprints, and we're asking for our schools who participate to create one handprint for every student who participates. All of this is outlined in the toolkit, but it's another fun way to acknowledge all the students who have participated, and they make a pledge that when they've done their handprint that they've done all 50 kind deeds that are there. Anything to add, Asha?
That's great.
That's good. What's the next question?
Does the kit come with classroom lessons to link the week of activities to the classes? Interesting question.
Yeah, no, that's another great question. That is not our expertise in creating curriculum. So we've partnered with the Random Acts of Kindness Foundation. We have some really fabulous key partners. They are one of them, and they've created a curriculum, a kindness curriculum that's in alignment with the I'm spacing on what the new Common Core, excuse me, that's right in alignment with Common Core. So we mentioned we have the A through Z ideas in our toolkit. So our C, for the letter C, it's Common Core Kindness Curriculum as provided by Random Acts of Kindness. So we let those who are professionals in their area do what they do best, and we just work together. I know that we've had a question that I might not have made absolutely clear in the webinar of the date of it. Some schools, that date doesn't quite work for them, so schools have wanted to know if it's okay if they do it at another time, and we want to reiterate that you can do the Great Kindness Challenge whenever it best suits your school. There's something very exciting to be part of this greater movement all at one time, but it is powerful no matter when you do it. So you are absolutely welcome to do the Great Kindness Challenge at any time.
Great, thank you. Getting a lot of questions on whether the kit and the registration is free, which I believe it is, correct?
It is free, yes. Again, as a former school teacher, there are a few things I knew in order to make this successful. One is that it had to be super easy, and I knew that free was going to help a lot. So yes, it is free. And we, as a nonprofit, were able to partner with some of our core partners to help make that so. But it is absolutely free. The only cost that you might incur is making copies of the checklist. So that would be the only, besides that, you can absolutely do it for zero cost. And if you choose to do the app, there's not even, then you could do it for no cost at all. So schools that might have iPads, they could do it even paperless.
Awesome. Another question here. Is there a national kickoff event, some sort of forum that unites the various schools that are involved on the first day? Or do they start on various days?
So the kickoff day is on Monday, January 26th, and we don't have, we just celebrate that all together. We mostly use Facebook to unite everybody. Our Facebook page is Great Kindness Challenge, the Great Kindness Challenge, and so that's the main way. We've done regional kickoffs, and so in certain regions you're welcome to do some kickoffs. But all together, our biggest thing we do is just cheer each other on through social media. But it is Monday, January 26th when it kicks off.
Awesome. Another interesting question here. Have you found that the Great Kindness Challenge needs to be modified year to year for schools participating ongoing, or is it a one-year participation? Can they come back and do it again next year?
We absolutely have schools coming back. We actually have had a 99% return rate from schools to do it. They love it. So it's something that, like all good habits, the more that you do it, the more it becomes a habit. But we have students and teachers who say that it's their favorite week of the entire year, and they can't wait for it. So yes, 99%. And people say, well, what happened to the other teachers? And the few others who didn't continue is because they had changed schools and weren't sure if they could keep implementing it there. So it's absolutely done year after year. And that is similar to the Red Ribbon Week model, you know, how schools just have that in their calendar and know that that's going to happen for them.
And I think the second part of the question was about adapting the checklist from year to year.
Yes, adapting the checklist. So we do revisit the checklist every year, and that's one of our, we do a post-event survey, that's all voluntary, and we take any feedback from that. So every year it seems like we've changed a few of them, one or two. An example of that is we had a challenge was walk to school. You know, it was being kind to the earth and walk to school. And with so many schools in blizzards, that wasn't very conducive. So we changed that. So we're always looking at ways to make it appropriate for everyone. But the majority of the challenges stay the same and are successful.
Awesome, thank you. Another quick question. The app, they're asking if that's free. I'm assuming it is.
It is free, yes.
Okay.
And that's the power and beauty of a nonprofit world. Lots of people like to help out and donate things. So it's a gorgeous app, and it was all donated by a big caring company.
Yes,
Awesome.
It's currently available only on iOS, and we will be hopefully working on making it available on the Android platforms as well. But it's definitely free, and we look forward to feedback as well, and look forward to using all the tools out there.
Great. That answers the next one, Asya. That's great. They were asking if it works on Chromebooks. So currently not on Android or Google, but just on the iTunes App Store. So let's see. Getting lots of questions. Just filtering through here. Oh, this is a good one for social media. Do you guys have a hashtag that you use for everyone on Facebook, on Twitter, Pinterest for the things that they're doing in relation to the challenge?
Yes, we have hashtag kindness matters and hashtag great kind of sound? Not great kind of sound, just great kind of and hashtag great kindness challenge that we use.
And a lot of schools share inspirational stories and additional ideas. So Facebook is a really fun page where you can get a lot of ideas and connect with other educators.
Yes, and I think you mentioned Pinterest too. So we have recently started our own Pinterest page to share pictures and ideas there as well. And coming up on our Facebook page, we're just launching an A through Z complimentary ideas little campaign where we'll be showing photos of all the A through Z ideas. So we're always trying to keep the ideas flowing for everybody.
Awesome. The quick follow-up question to if there was lessons included in the kit. They were the person asking wanted to know where they could find the stuff from the organization you mentioned that were included in the kit.
Yes, so when you go to the in the toolkit, there's a link to it. So it'll take you. Yes, it'll click you right to. It's Random Acts of Kindness Foundation. They're a fabulous kindness organization, and that'll take you right to their curriculum. And that's also where we used for most of our kindness science. Most of that came from them as well.
Great ideas there. Another couple questions people are asking about the younger grades, kindergarten, maybe even pre-K. Any recommendations for those? And one specific question said where the individual students cannot read yet. How about implementing there and what you can do as far as for those younger students?
Yeah, so we do. It's another great question. We do have a section that we put adaptations for the pre-K and kindergarten. We have lots of pre-Ks who participate in the Great Kindness Challenge. So what we have them do is usually just pick about a chunk of them and focus on the chunk every day, and they just read them out, and they're working on like about 1 to 5 of them per day. And then we also, for those who are in the elementary school, we often partner them with the upper grades and do some of the challenges together. So it's another really nice way to unify the school culture. Yes, but we do have those adaptations listed out, and
yeah, but grouping the challenges, that's what we heard helps a lot for the pre-K.
Yes. And some of the creative teachers, this is a section that we can definitely add to our toolkit for next year, is some teachers then have taken pictures, and they'll do the key pictures that can go with the Kind app to help as a trigger for them, such as smile at 25 people. They would just put a smiley face and number 25. So we're working on that. Every year we keep adding more to our toolkit.
Awesome. So one more question here, and then feel free to keep sending in questions, everyone. How do you carry this on after the week is over? What's the follow through, the best practices and that schools are doing?
So that's a really big, important part. We personally leave that up to the schools to carry it on, but we give some suggestions. And some of the suggestions are having some schools have taken the kindness stations, and they've every month continue to do a kindness station, and they create kindness ambassadors, or their student council can do that. So that's one way that schools have just kept the concept of kindness fresh in their minds with monthly kindness stations. Other schools do implement the kindness curriculum from Random Acts of Kindness Foundation, so they're taking that. Other schools, we have so many quotes that we give as inspiration. So some schools just keep a weekly quote that they give as just a reminder that kindness is a value of the school. Other ways that we've carried that on, trying to think about, we have inspirational quotes that we have with photo quotes. So some of the schools have been sharing their photo quotes with the students and then having their students create their own photo quotes for the school to share, so they're engaging the whole school. So these are just some of the ways they carry it on. I hope I answered that one okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds awesome. The one other quick question: there are a couple of people have asked if you have a short video showing the challenge and how to encourage students in participating. Is that something that's available on your website?
Yes, so currently the video that we have on our website is one of a local television station that covered the Great Kindness Challenge. It's very specific to elementary schools, so we are in the process of creating a new one, and we're hoping that it's going to be available for December. That's our goal for doing that. Again, we are a small nonprofit. Asha and I are actually the staff. We are the full staff of the Great Kindness Challenge, and everyone else are wonderful volunteers who implement this. But in the meantime, we have a theme song, the Great Kindness Challenge theme song, that was written by Peter Seltzer, and it was sung by our Kids for Peace singers, and we have a video of the kids putting that song into action. And that song can be found in the toolkit. It's also on YouTube. The song is called Kind-Hearted Hand, and it's a really beautiful way to kick off the week. And some schools participating in the Great Kindness Challenge have adapted their own have created their own Kind-Hearted Hand music video, and you can find that on YouTube as well. So until our new promo video is done, I suggest either showing the one that's on our website for the elementary grades or showing our Kind-Hearted Hand music video, which does feature all levels. It's a lot of high school students who are in it, but elementary students as well.
Awesome.
And it's a super big dose of happy also. So whenever I just need that little extra oomph in my day, I listen and watch that music video, and I just can't help but feel like a better person in this world.
It's a warm fuzzy, right?
It is. It's toe tapping
Awesome.
warm fuzzy.
Awesome. Well, I think that does it for questions. A lot of thank yous coming in. If we missed your question, we got a lot of them coming. We are registering all the questions and who asked them. So if we go back and see something that we missed or that we didn't cover with another question, forgive us, and we'll try to follow up with you. Jill asked you, perfect. I was going to say several questions on where to go, how to sign up, how to get in contact with you guys, and this slide is perfect. That helps out with that. But we definitely just want to say thank you, from McGraw-Hill Education to you for taking time to share with educators this important, issue and a great solution to help solve and some challenges at school and bring kindness into schools. We really appreciate it. Like I said earlier, we're going to be sending a follow-up email to everybody with a link to this recording, and our email will be in there if you want to reach out to us and need to contact Jill or Asya. Of course, their email's on the screen as well. But thank you both very much, and go ahead and tell them how to join and where to go.
Fantastic. Thank you, Doug. And we can't thank McGraw-Hill enough. It takes all of us working together to create this culture of kindness in our schools and beyond. So we are absolutely thrilled. And thanks to all of you out there who are doing the work of kindness and interfacing with our students every day. We're so very, very thankful and grateful to you. The website is on the slide, thegreatkindnesschallenge.org, and that will take you to where you can register for this. Our email, info@thegreatkindnesschallenge.org, that will bring you to Asha or myself. We will be the ones interacting with you, with answering all of your questions, and we are here for you completely. We live and breathe to create a kinder world, so we welcome any questions, any feedback, any support you need. We are absolutely here for you. And again, we can't thank you enough. Your kindness matters, and we just thank you.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.